When we have created the project, the first screen we see is overview screen. This is a screen which is continuously updated as you work on your project and gives you a bird's eye view of the project status. Let's go one section at a time. Here on the top, right below the action buttons, we see project statistics. So we'll see how many objects do we have, how many lines of code do we have, and all that grouped by the object types. And then we see 5 stages. These stages we call object lifecycle. Let me explain what this means. Parsing is understanding what your SQL code actually means. So we internally transform your text into complex representation, but which allows us to know exactly what things are represented in your code. Binding is our static analysis stage. Purpose of static analysis is to discover the broken references in your code. So for example, if you have a stored procedure created which you never run, and then you get rid of some of the objects in the meantime, maybe some tables or views are dropped or some columns are renamed, your code no longer works, but you don't know that. So we'll catch all such issues for you. We'll also use static analysis to build, again, internal reference chains. So we'll know in your code what names point to what object, underlying objects. Translation stage is, of course, the meat of the software. And this is where we take your code written for your source SQL dialect and transform it into code written for the target database dialect. And we don't just do a blind translation, for example, using regular expressions, just change a few things around. We actually consult our static analysis internal output to do intelligent translation. So the way we translate, the way we build the target SQL code is fully idiomatic. What experienced database developer would write by hand, that's what SQL Tran generates out of the box in this incredibly short time. And then the last 2 stages are very unique to SQL Tran. The 4th stage is creation. That's where we can create full target schema for you. We do it, of course, as everything else that you do, incredibly performantly. For example, recently I tested 500,000 lines of code schema. We are able to create all that schema in 3 minutes on Fabric Warehouse. That was on F64 Fabric capacity. And the last object lifecycle stage is testing. Incredibly performant. I'm not aware of a competing solution that actually has this functionality. The fact that we have static analysis engine allows us to intelligently build thousands upon thousands of test cases to ensure that the business logic has remained the same. So we want, with all this advanced rewriting, that your code, as it was written in the source database maybe for the span of 10 or 20 years by many, many different people, we want to be 100% certain that the target code works exactly the same on a different database architecture. So our testing framework is built to ensure exactly this. And of course, I'll go into much more detail about this in other videos.